And so that way, a lot of evil can be passed, under the rug, as they say. No, 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 no. Wrong is wrong. No matter who does the wrong, by the way. No matter who does the evil. If it's a Muslim or a non-Muslim, doesn't matter. But we will advocate for it on behalf of truth and certainly call out falsehood. And we will speak on behalf of good and call out conversation. And that may happen where you may decide, you know what, I'm a part of this corporation. There's corporations out there who are actively involved and engaged, and their software is in that corporation. Those 5,000 Muslims don't have a voice. And I'm talking about not just a voice to say like, okay, there's a whole opportunity now in the public sphere, and especially the freedoms that are protected, constitutionally speaking, to have a voice and to speak, right? The right to assembly, the right to actually, speak on behalf, and these freedoms are protected. And that's why you notice a lot of attempts were made to squash constitutionally protected speech, and a lot of those failed in the courts. The integrity of the judicial system stood up, said, no, that is not, that is constitutionally protected. So therefore, it may be like, yeah, okay, my superiors or my uppers are not going to really want me to have this opinion, but you know what? I think it's time that I, at the very least, say like, hey, listen, no, we're not on the same page here, with all due respect. You don't have to be blunt about it. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be harsh. You don't have to be condescending. You just have to be clear about it. And if your niyyah, if your intention is, Ya Rabbi, fasda', bima tu'mar, come forth with what you are commanded. And I want to say the truth even if it's bitter, then bismillah. And that's not an uncalculated, that's not throwing caution into the wind. Are potentially some sacrifices there? Yeah, trust me. And this is now on every plane. It's not just if you're working in like a corporate job or you're a part. No, it's like you can be trust me, you can be a sheikh and imam. You can be an ustad. Say the wrong thing, what happens? It's so that type of, there's a point where you say, you know what? Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala khayrul razzaq, Allahu hafidhun ameen, Allah preserves and protects, and I'm not gonna, I don't, there's too much here for me to say nothing, for what exactly am I preserving, my what? Like, you have to have those moments of sincere conversation. So I hope that helps, inshallah, but we can explore this further.
I can't take another question. We'll have to leave it for another night, inshallah. I do want to comment a little, just very quickly on this, and I want to wrap up this session and move to the dhikr, inshallah. One thing I was going to wrap up the session on was, I think we have all experienced, through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's divine decree and intervention, we have all experienced what adopted courage can look like in witnessing our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Because what happened with Gaza was remarkable to me. That after 9/11, this community, as Sheikh Hussein referenced, this community went through a shrinking period where, like, we started to kind of, if they just like us a little more, we'll be okay. And then Gaza came and the community somehow just shifted. The backs got straight, the chest came out, and people were willing to say what they were otherwise very afraid to say. And we've all been memoried, all three of us up here. You can go on memories page, you'll find Sheikh Yasser, Sheikh Hussein have been memoried several times. I've been memoried once or twice. No one even bats an eye anymore. I don't say, take whatever clip you want to take and spread it on the internet, go right ahead. But we have to speak truth. And there is something beautiful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to witness, that when courage stands up, most of humanity starts to call out, I want to be a part of that. What I will say to your specific question in that regard, one thing that has bothered me for years about our community is that I can appreciate the need to be politically savvy and intelligent. We don't need to burn every bridge, and we do have to have strategy. But something the Prophet ﷺ was very keen on when I read the seerah is that even when he took strategic steps, he never did so in a way that led people to believe that he was compromising his values. So I may have to deal with you and come to terms with you politically. But I am who I am, and I stand on what I stand on. I stand on La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. If there's some place for us to have an agreement, we'll have that agreement. But I'm not going to pretend that I'm something I'm not for that agreement. And there's plenty of proof of this of the Prophet ﷺ. So for example, for years, we've had politicians who are Muslim who will march in certain parades. And when you ask them about this, they'll say, well, we can't really be elected if we come out with the stance that Islam has on some of these acts. And one of my retorts has always been, I'm not asking you to be belligerent against that community, but why are you dancing in the streets? These are two completely different things. You can have politically savviness and still be very firm and clear on what you stand on. And that's what I'm sort of gleaming from what Sheikh Yasser is saying here. You don't have to be belligerent in their face if it's something you can't afford. This is going to put me and my family in a really detrimental situation. I don't have a pathway out, so I want to wait until I have a pathway out to take that chance. May Allah bless you. But I've also seen plenty of people who've just said, I can't stand this anymore, I have to speak. And other doors have opened up for them. And so there is something that comes when you take that first step. There is something that comes. With that, I do want to say, may Allah bless our two mashayikh. One of the big takeaways tonight for me personally, when I asked Sheikh Yasser to balance between fear and courage, his answer from the Qur'an, خُذْهَا وَلَا تَخَفْ, is really my biggest takeaway for tonight, because to me it was a very beautiful, articulate elucidation and distillment of how you sort of balance between these two. Your trust and your courage stems from you following the command of Allah. Courage will come afterwards. And so as long as that's our guide, courage can grow, and it gives you these sort of pathways of when to balance. I think we'll leave some room for additional QA, because I know what some of what we said was a little bit maybe difficult to swallow or to fully grasp, so we'll leave some more room. But we do want to wrap up with our sunnah. Our sunnah has been that we do some dhikr, and then we do 2 short rak'ats, so we're going to continue with it, inshallah. Because we're late, we're only going to do 2 to 10 afkar today, inshallah, instead of the 33, and then we'll stand up. Is Sheikh Abrar here?
Is Usama?
No, so Usama is with us, inshallah. So we'll read 2 short rak'ats, so please don't leave without praying the 2 short rak'at with us, so you get the barakah of the night. This is one of the odd nights of Ramadan. It's very possible that tonight is al-Qadr, so don't let it go. And inshallah, the dhikr of these nights is the one that the Prophet ﷺ taught Aisha radiallahu anha. Allahumma innaka afuun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna ya kareem. So we're going to say that inshallah together 10 times. We want to lower our heads, inshallah. We want to put our hearts in the right place. We're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're saying to Him, Oh Allah, you are the one who pardons, and you love to pardon, and you are generous, so pardon us, O generous one. بسم الله. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pardon us all and accept these minutes and moments together. Inshallah, we'll stand up. We'll pray 2 very quick rak'at together.
Please, everyone, remain silent as we're transitioning. Just line up immediately. We're going to pray immediately. So no chatter. Osama, where are you, Habib? Come forward. Yalla, jump into the mihrab. Ya Zakaria. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Good to see you.